Hey guys, my name is Bahroz. I'm a career coach and welcome to my channel. If you've been following the series on how to ace P&G's interviews, then you know how critical it is to understand the 5 peak performance factors that P&G uses to evaluate its candidates and what are the questions that will be asked around these peak performance factors. So in today's video, I'm covering more questions, ones that weren't discussed in previous episodes but are just as important. These will help you complete your preparation and ensure you're not caught off guard. If you haven't seen the earlier videos, I'll link them in the description below, so go check them out. Now, before we dive, here's an important disclaimer. The information I share in this video is publicly available and doesn't involve any proprietary knowledge from my time at Procter & Gamble, where I worked for approximately 11 years. The commonly asked questions I discuss in this video are sourced from all over the web. I will leave the sources that I made use of in the description of this video. The approach I outlined for answering these questions is based on a universal interview techniques that anyone can make use of. So let's continue breaking it down. So the first sample question I have is related to the peak performance lead with courage. Here the question is, tell me about a time you had to lead a difficult project or team. What was your approach to ensure success? Now, how you should go about answering is first set the context. Was the team with low morale, missed targets, or unclear goals? Be specific about why it was difficult. Conflict, ambiguity, or poor performance. Second is share how you stepped in. Did you start with listening? Did you set new norms, create a clear action plan, or reset expectations altogether? Thirdly, focus on how you brought people together, aligned conflicting priorities, assigned ownership, or modeled accountability. Then go about talking with regards to mentioning how you secured buy-in. Did you engage senior leaders or influence across functions? Also, emphasize your leadership approach. Was it collaborative, decisive, empowering? Last but not the least, close with measurable results, on-time delivery, improved team engagements, etc. And a leadership lesson learned. What did you learn? That is very important when you talk about the results. Now here, an important call out in case you are interested in having a one-to-one coaching session with me with regards to how you should go about acing your interview and how to do preparation for the interview. Well, you can book a session with me using the link that I will leave in the description of this video. In case you're wondering what do I cover in this video, well, I have multiple videos on my channel where I have recorded such videos where I had coaching sessions with my students and have them available on my channel, so you can check them out. So that will give you a good idea as to what do I cover in this particular session. So if interested, please book the session using the link that I will leave in the description of this video. Now, the second sample question under the lead with courage that I have is, tell me about a situation in which you had to analyze information quickly and develop a solution in a timely manner to meet a tight deadline. Now here, the way you need to go about answering is first start by describing the urgency. What was at risk? If you didn't act quickly, why? Then show how you structured your thinking. Did you break the problem into parts or prioritize decisions? Explain the tools or inputs you used. Data, snapshots, stakeholder calls, back of the envelope calculation, whatever the mode was. Then go about mentioning how you communicated clearly despite the time crunch. Who did you update? And how often? If you had to take a calculated risk, explain your rationale. And again, end with what you achieved despite limited time and how that built your confidence or credibility. Now, an important call out, always ensure that in your answer you touch on P&G peak performance factors and provide examples that demonstrate how you've excelled in these areas in the past. Hence, as you prepare for P&G's assessment process, it's crucial to first understand these peak performance factors. I've covered them in detail in separate videos, which I'll link below. These factors are foundational because P&G uses them to judge candidates for every role. Understanding them will help you grasp how you'll be graded and what's expected before you start preparing for specific questions and their answers, which we'll cover and I'm covering in the rest of this video as well. Now here, it is also important to understand that there are certain videos pertaining to P&G assessment that I have made only available for the members. In case you are interested in having access to all P&G videos, I highly recommend that you join the membership for my channel. Now, the third sample question that I have is related to innovation for growth, which is, tell me about a time when you created something new or reapplied an existing idea. Why did you do it and what was the result? Now here, how you go about answering is first identify the inefficiency or missed opportunity. What didn't sit right with you? Second, share how the idea formed. Did you borrow a practice from another team? Did you pilot something based on feedback or analysis? Where is it coming from? Then describe your pitch or prototype phase. Like how did you convince others or gain their approval? Then go about explaining what made it innovative. Was it fresh approach, a system, or a mindset? Then use tangible outcomes like did it save time, increase revenue, or improve experience? This is part of the result. And conclude with how your idea scaled or influenced broader change as well, not just limiting to the impact it had on the project that you were working on, but there was scalability as well. Now, an important call out here before we move to the next question, which is in case you're finding any value from this video, please press the like button. This keeps me motivated, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel as well, because on this channel I publish content pertaining to how you can achieve success in your career. So if that topic is of interest to you, this channel is right for you. Now, next sample question that I have is related to champion productivity, and here the sample question is, give me an example of when you eliminated complexity from a process or situation. How you go about answering is start with the pain point. What made the process inefficient, like manual, or it could be a frustrating error-prone process? What was it? Walk through how you diagnose the issue. Did you map workflows? Did you interview users or analyze cycle time? Describe the solution. What was it? Automation, consolidation, simplification, standardization, whatever it was. Then highlight how you collaborated with others to implement the fix. Was it IT involved, process owners who were involved, and all? Talk about before and after. What changed in terms of time, effort, or output? Because it was slow process and then kind of it speed up. And here a bonus tip is share if the solution was again scaled to other teams or other teams were able to adopt this best practice. Now here, before moving into the next sample question, let me share out here that the reason it's easier to know the type of questions asked in P&G interview, or for that matter in any big company, is the fact that these big companies have a very structured approach to interviewing. That is, they have a set guideline on what to ask and how to evaluate. So for the most part, everyone tends to follow the same script and methodology, and hence for someone like me who coaches and mentors hundreds of candidates for jobs, not just in P&G but across other companies as well, it becomes very easy to pick on commonalities and trends. Now the next sample question I have, which is also under champion productivity, is describe a time when you had to make a decision that influenced the workload or complexity of a project. What information did you use to make your decision? Here, first set up the scenario. Was the project becoming unmanageable? Was scope creeping, or priorities were unclear? Then share the decision you faced, whether you decided to pause, cut, delegate, or accelerate. Walk through the thought process. What inputs did you use? Data, team capacity, strategic priorities. Here, be clear about the trade-offs you made, what you chose to keep versus deprioritize. Explain how your choice simplified execution or reduced burden on the team altogether. And in the end, share the result. Did it improve focus, speed, or team morale? The next sample question that I have is related to the peak performance execute with excellence. Here, the sample question is, tell me about a time you had to work quickly to meet a deadline. What did you do to make sure you would meet the deadline? What obstacles did you encounter? How did you have to go about adjusting whatever you were trying to work on? So here the sample answer, or how you go about answering, is set the scene. What was at stake? Was it broad presentation, launch, or audit? Then go about sharing how you created structure, milestones, timelines, accountability, ownership. Then discuss real-time challenges, last-minute data issues, conflicting demands, team bandwidth. Then show how you adjusted. Did you reprioritize tasks, delegate differently, or cut non-essential work? Then talk about or mention how you kept stakeholders in the loop and protected quality under pressure. What was it that you did in order to ensure that the quality or the output was of high class? Lastly, finish with the outcome. What was delivered and what you learned about managing time-sensitive work. The next sample question I have is related to, again, execute with excellence. Here, the sample questions tell me about a situation when you used your expertise to lead or support a project that changed directions or goals. Here, answer by first beginning with an original plan. What was the goal and what shifted? Share how your deep dive expertise helped reframe the project direction. Did you identify a better approach or catch something that others may have missed? Explain how you managed the transition, communication, rescoping, or change management. Emphasize your flexibility and your ability to still deliver value. And again, in the end, wrap up with the result. Did the pivot save time, reduce risk, or create more impact? The second last sample question that I have is related to the peak performance, bring out your best. Here, the sample question that I have is, give an example of when you had to work with others to deliver results. How did you help ensure their success? How you should go about answering is, first and foremost, set the context. Was it a joint project, a matrix team, or mentioning the situation? What was the situation all about? Then explain how you helped others succeed, clarifying their goals, providing tools, or removing friction. Then highlight any proactive efforts. Did you step in early, coach someone, or shield them from noise? How did you go about helping them? Show empathy and adaptability. How did you flex your approach to match their style? Then go about sharing the team wins and how your support contributed to it. Bonus tip here is mention if your approach helped build long-term trust and collaboration. The last sample question that I have is again related to bring out your best. Here the sample question is, describe a situation when you helped a team succeed. How did you help the team achieve results? Here how you go about answering is, describe the goal and the team setup. Was the team new? Were they under pressure? Were they underperforming? So what was going on? What was the issue? Share what you contributed, like vision, process, morale, training, or structure. If you were not the formal lead, show how you led through influence. How did you go about influencing them? Mention how you created clarity, defining success, resolving conflicts, or facilitating collaboration. Here also important is focus on how you elevated others, like celebrating wins, growing confidence, or unlocking blockers. Wrap up with the results that were achieved and how did you and the team feel about the journey altogether. So there we have it, the remaining essential behavioral questions you might face in P&G interview, each linked to a peak performance factor. These questions are highly likely to show up, and if you've been following the series on P&G interview taking that I have on my channel, you now have a complete toolkit to handle them with confidence and structure. Now, in the end, like always, hit that like button if this helped you. And don't forget to subscribe if you are serious about landing a top role or building long-term career success. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these questions are you preparing for. And once you've given this interview, also let me know which of these questions did appear in your interview. I'd love to help you and many others who are trying to land their dream jobs. Thank you.